Welcome to this episode of Ask the Guitar Coach, the only podcast where you get answers to all your guitar-related questions. If you're interested in developing your guitar skills and reaching your music goals, please send me an email at the email address ioannis@ioannis.org. That is ioannis@ioannis.org, so that I can let you know about all the different packages of elite guitar coaching and how you can get private coaching by me. Without further ado, let's go to our question for the day. What's the ideal order to learn my scales? Alright, that's a really good question. So what's the best order in which you learn scales? And in answering this question, I will split it into two aspects. One is, which is the ideal order to learn different scale qualities? So like from minor, major, mixolydian, which is the best order. And the second one is, which is the best order to learn in one scale the different keys. So for example, if you learn C major, what's the next major scale you learn? Do you learn C sharp? Do you learn D? Or do you learn G major? So let's get started. In my coaching, I use two rules to teach scales. First of all, concerning the quality of the scales, I teach them in the order that they appear in playing. So the most important scales, I will teach them first to the student. So a scale that he will find in just about like every piece of music, I will teach it much earlier than a scale that is relatively rare. Once again, this has to do with a specific kind of music. So someone who's playing like country music versus someone who's playing death metal will have different priorities. But generally, in rock guitar, what we're doing is teaching first the pentatonic scale, the minor pentatonic scale. So for level 1 of scales learning, I will teach first the pentatonic minor scale, then the blues scale, which is basically the minor pentatonic plus a flatted fifth, and then the natural minor scale, which is the minor pentatonic plus a major ninth and a minor sixth. So for level 1, these are the three scales that the student will need to know. This will give him a lot of material to play over the vast majority of rock music. Most rock music and most metal music is written on the minor key, and by knowing those three scales, he can play lots of improvisations and sound very good over a lot of music that he can relate to. Now moving on to level 2, you will have some modes, the Dorian mode and the Mixolydian mode, as well as the major scale. Depending on the student, we might also go to harmonic minor and Phrygian dominant if he's more into like really heavy metal and Eastern sound. So this way he can have even more relevance. What he's learning is relevant to the music that he will be playing. The Dorian mode is one of the most basic scales used in classic rock music, and the Mixolydian as well, especially closer to country and western, and then obviously the major scale, which is used also in western music very, very much. The blues style of music uses all the aforementioned scales, the minor pentatonic, the blues scale, the Dorian and the Mixolydian, and even sometimes could be also the major scale. So these are all used when you're playing the blues. So by the end of level 2, we're done with those scales, and starting level 3, we're finishing up the rest of the model system. That means that here the student will be learning the Lydian mode, the Phrygian mode and the Locrian mode to complete the 7 modes of the model system. And this would pretty much finish level 3. And then we will move on to level 4 and level 5. So level 4 and level 5, we'll just put them together, is the melodic minor scale and its modes, once again seeing which ones of them are most usual. So I will be mostly focusing on altered scale and also on Lydian flat 7. We will be learning all the different modes, but mostly focusing on those two because these are the ones that are used in most compositions that the student is likely to encounter first. And then the different scales that are symmetrical, like half whole and whole half diminished scales, augmented, and also whole tone scales. So there you have it. This is the order in which I'm teaching scales to my students as far as the quality of the scale is concerned. Now let's go very quickly and have a quick look at what is the order of learning the actual scales. Once you've learned a scale, as I mentioned, the major scale, in which order do you learn the different keys? So the order that I teach the different keys within one scale is by adding first all the sharps and then all the flats. Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. I will explain right now. So I'm starting. First of all, we learn, for example, for the natural minor scale, the A natural minor scale that has no sharps and no flats. Then we go to the scale that has one sharp. One sharp, that will be the E minor scale. Then we go to the scale that has one flat, which is the D minor scale. Then we go to the scale that has two sharps, and then to the scale that has two flats, and then to three sharps, and then three flats. And this is the way that slowly we are building up our knowledge of the different keys within one specific scale quality. So there you have it. I hope this clarified that specific question, and I will see you on the next episode of Ask the Guitar Coach. Until then, have fun shredding and keep those questions coming.